Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Commission, a time where the WMC discusses topical issues that affect you. Today, we will be talking about the Healthcare Enforcement and Licensing Management System, also known as HELMS, and how to be best prepared for upcoming changes to obtaining your license. Today, I am joined by Ratna Craig, HELMS Project Director, and Liz Geisler, HELMS Business Deputy Project Director. Before I turn the webinar over, I want to take care of a few housekeeping items. We encourage you to ask questions throughout the presentation by using the chat box within the Teams framework, and we'll do our best to address your questions at the end of the presentation. We are recording this webinar and it'll be available on our website within the next few days, so please feel free to share these resources with your friends and colleagues. So with that out of the way, I'm going to turn it over to Ratna and Liz.
So much, Jimmy. Again, my name is Ratna Craig. I am the project director for the Healthcare Enforcement and Licensing Management System, also known affectionately as HELMS. We have been a long-running project, and I'm really excited to be here with you all to talk about it today. And with me is Liz Geisler, our Business Deputy Project Director, and I'll let her do some introductions and then give you the floor.
Yeah. Great. I'm really happy to be here. I am one of the newest additions to the HELMS project and really loving it. I oversee all the BSMEs on the project, our business subject matter experts. And so let me dive in and we'll give you an overview of this project. So today we're going to give you a high-level overview of the HELMS project, and I'm also going to go over our timeline and our schedule for the releases of this project that we have coming up. I'll also do an overview of our organizational structure and share with you where you can learn more information about the project. So as Ratna said, this is the Healthcare Enforcement and Licensing Management System, HELMS. It's a new electronic licensing system that's going to replace 16 legacy systems, so current applications that really are unable to meet the growing requirements and expectations of customers. So that's public users, that's provider, anybody who's kind of touching healthcare in Washington State. It's a large group of people. It's over 500,000 healthcare providers who interact with 2,500 educational programs and nearly 12,000 facilities. So it's a really big project that will oversee licensing and credentialing, education programs, recognized designations, enforcement, and inspection. Some of the key high-level benefits of the HELMS system are that it will modernize services and processes to support business solutions. It'll integrate these 16 legacy systems into one single online system, which really will give everybody the ability to have better visibility and collaborate better to make sure these processes are smooth. It also increased our ability to safely share data with healthcare providers with more robust security. So that's a really big benefit of this system. In addition, it will expand our mobile capabilities for interacting with providers and public users, including the ability to apply online via your phone, check your status of your application, things that just aren't possible with our current system. And lastly, HELMS will provide tools to better analyze our data, find insights, and support better decision-making around healthcare analytics. Here's a high-level timeline of our next 3 releases. We are 3.5 weeks from our first release, which is our HELMS Lite release, and this will HELMS Lite will cover new applications for 138 credentials. We were very excited about this release, and I'll be able to share some of the feedback we've received from our testers of this in a little bit. Our next release will be in December of this year, and this will be our credentialing release. And so this will cover licensing, credentialing, education programs, and recognized designations. And then our third release will happen in September 2025. So this will be every enforcements, inspections, investigations, all of that work will come and be integrated into the HELMS system in that release. I'm going to give you a little more information. So that's our high level timeline, but here's our schedule. If you look across this left side bar here, these are our releases. So the first row is our HELMS Light release, and you can see that we're in the final month before going live. And so we're doing regression testing, we're doing all of the business readiness and deployment readiness activities before we switch into this green area of ongoing support. In the second row, these are activities for the credentialing release, that second release. So we're in our final stages of discovery, and then we get into a lengthy stage of development and testing. Before kind of getting to the similar place we're at right now with HELMS Light, right? This final testing before we deploy. And you can see the same trajectory laid out for R3 in this third row. But I do want to call your attention to the last row, because this is a big benefit of the HELMS project. These little green triangles along the bottom, those are monthly releases. So that's where we're going to continuously improve the HELMS system and ensure that it meets business needs. And we know those business needs are ever changing. So that's a piece we're really excited and just want to highlight for you all. So yeah. And these are just some quotes from our recent HELMS Light user testing. So these are end users of HELMS within the HSQA division and our partner commissions and boards, who all provided really graciously testers to get into the HELMS Light system, see if it works, find issues, and we really got positive feedback that this will be a value add system and really streamline new applications. So we're really grateful for all of the time and support from our testers, and really heartened to hear such positive feedback. And so really gets us excited about this release that's around the corner. I won't read them to you, but I'll just, yeah, we'll share this presentation too.
Just going to pause for a moment. Did anyone have questions about the material that we've covered so far? Jimmy, I don't know if there are questions in the chat or if anyone wanted to share any with us.
We don't have any in the chat right now, but everyone feel free to type in your questions if you have any. You can also raise your hand and I can unmute you.
Kids people a minute. Here's a high-level snapshot of our project organizational chart. Our executive sponsor is Lacey Fehrenbach, and our IT executive sponsor is Callie Goldsby. And then I want to call attention, my counterpart on the IT side is Wyndon Doyle, and Cammie Jones is our organizational change manager. But I do want to call attention to the project steering committee. So this is representatives from all the main offices in HSQA and all of our partner commissions and boards, including WMC, represented here by Kyle, who all have input into this project. And we meet, I believe, right on a monthly basis and provide updates on the project and get input and approval about the way forward. So that's just a high level snapshot of how we're organized. And yeah. Okay. Well, then here's where you can find some additional information about the HELMS project. You can visit our website, which goes over benefits and kind of all aspects related to this project. It's a good place to point people. It's really well organized with key FAQs. You can also sign up to get a Gov delivery bulletin from our project, and you can also email us directly.
I know that I imagine through Kyle and team, we also have some Gov delivery bulletins going through the office professions as well. So I know we're kind of looking at sending out information in both ways. So you're able to go there. And then obviously the website will be updated with, all of the information related to this. So we're really excited about what this will mean in terms of just helping bring additional, transparency, additional self-service features, as well as just information for the professions and others to better support each of you out in the field. Our HELMS Lite release, as Liz mentioned, is essentially for new applicants. So folks that are brand new into the system who are, seeking to get licensed or credentialed in a certain space. We're really excited that we were able to bring in 9 paper-based applications, I think for EMS and a few others, into the system so that they could be electronically completed going forward. And then, I think for us, for this population at least, who is likely already licensed, it's more about the impacts that we'll have in December with the broader licensing credentialing, the ability to get renewal notices, information around your payments, right, information about even the other facilities. We're really excited about because a lot of the things that we try to do with our current systems tends to be difficult. We're not always able to connect the data easily unless we do this offline. We're not always able to, share some of this information. So we're really excited about what this means for the state as a whole and our ability to provide this information to you all.
Thanks, Ratna. Well, with that, it brings us to our Q&A session. So interested in the questions people have.
Awesome. Thank you. I hope everyone will join me in a virtual round of applause. We really appreciate you taking the time to come and speak with us today. So everyone, feel free to type in your questions into the chat. You can also raise your hand and I can unmute you. But while we have a moment for folks to kind of gather some thoughts and type in those questions, I did have a question for you. It's a little more specific. You kind of mentioned that the HELMS Lite release on the 24th, they're going to be for new applicants. And we are in a time of the year where a lot of students will be applying for their license for the first time. So do you have any suggestions for them as to how, if there's anything that can make this process with the new HELMS system seamless for them? Any suggestions or tips on how to move forward with a new license?
Jimmy, that's a great question. One of the things that will be available, I believe, Ratna, on a public-facing website is a video that outlines how to complete an application. It's short, it's a few minutes, so that's a really good resource to look at before you start your application. I think there might also be a user guide that might be available too, so I need to check with our OCM manager. But a video is the best place to point people to. But our hope is also that this is a very intuitive system so that it's quite easy to use. It's based on, built on a Salesforce platform. And so my hope is that for most users, the video is just extra support. In addition, I mean, you can also call the call center. I think call the customer service support center and they can help you over the phone too. But our hope is that the need for that will be really minimal with how intuitive this new system is.
Our plan is there's a normal monthly update that will be happening with a very short cutover time for maintenance for I think it's less than a couple of hours. So it's the normal maintenance window that will be also pivoting to the new system in. So I think there's probably 2 points there. One, we are asking everyone to complete their application before the system goes live on the 24th, because at that point, it'll be a clean cutover. If you've not completed your application, when we cut over on the 24th, you will need to restart in the new system, because part of what we're going to be making sure in the current system, we've got notices saying we are going to be doing a system cutover. We wanted to do this as cleanly and easily as possible for everyone. So we're giving everyone, quite a lot of warnings. If you're going in now, you'll be seeing some of those notices around the fact that you will need to complete this. Typically, You have 14 days from when you start to complete your application. We want everyone to be able to finish up, but not really impact your ability to go ahead and apply.
And I have just a clarifying question. One of the biggest pain points for our licensees is obtaining a receipt after they've applied or even renewed.
Yep.
So for the HELMS Lite release, will that function of being able to download a receipt be available in HELMS Lite, or will it be credential release on the 9th?
So that will be available with HELMS Lite. So you'll be able to print your receipt from there. So I've heard that from several people since I've started. So I'm hoping that's good news and a relief for people that functionality will be available.
I believe staff and licensees will be very excited by that.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Well, I don't have any questions in the chat. I don't see any hands raised. So thank you again for presenting this really important and valuable information. I appreciate everyone attending and participating, and I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Thank you so much, ladies.
Of course, our pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah.